Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Savage Instincts, and I saw a video online today that made me really interested just because, out of context, it sounds completely wild. It is the very famous streamer Asmongold. He's, popular for doing streams. Well, now I guess he does variety, but I think he got his start in World of Warcraft, and he is talking about AI and whether or not it should be used in video games, essentially, or if that's a bad thing. And let's just say that the way it came out probably wasn't the way that he wanted it to come across, because the internet is definitely, they got some opinions. They got some feelings about the way that he expressed himself. So let's go ahead and watch the video together, and maybe that'll put a little bit of clarity on what's going on.
To expect me to draw a moral line, I have to perceive a difference that I consider substantial. And I do not consider the difference substantial. Do you guys? No.
So he's talking about,
and that's really,
he's talking about this game called Power World, and basically in this game, it's a Pokemon ripoff. That's what they say. They say it's Pokemon with guns. I looked at it. I know that Pokemon games have progressed over time, and they've probably become more complex than they were before. But, essentially there's a lot of creatures that you can catch and that you can throw these capture balls at, and they get caught in capture balls, and you could collect them, and you could even, capture human beings. Anyway, I watched the whole, video just to get myself familiar with it. It's not my cup of tea. It looks like it just kills time and it's a total grind. But people are saying that the game may have AI generated characters, and this is him talking about it.
what matters. If it was made with AI, I'm completely okay with that because it was fun.
The evidence is that
it doesn't matter. Nobody really cares about this.
The lead developer has been
He's talking about a Lugway video.
AI in the past and made an AI game.
We're gonna play
called
this, by the way.
AI Art Imposter that lets an AI artist draw a picture. And so that was like one of the games.
We're gonna be playing this week.
Yes, just generally has been much more positive about some of the benefits of AI rather than what is the normal sentiment amongst artists and I guess general Twitter population, which is that AI is bad and it takes jobs from people.
Well, AI and the sentiment from artists opinions don't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Now we're going to stop right here. He's saying artists' opinions don't matter. Now, I'm stopping here for a reason. Not because he doesn't add context afterwards, but because I know for a fact that this is all people heard. That's all they're willing to hear. Artists' opinions don't matter. That's all that they want to hear of what he has to say. But that's not really what he's saying in like the cosmic sense. Like without context, everything he says sounds like atrocious. But here's a little bit of context. If you're willing to listen, if you're willing to open your ears for beyond just the shock value, if you're not like, and you have to like dive into your keyboard and immediately start having an opinion.
Because what matters is the opinion of the people that are buying the product. Like it doesn't, like your opinion on it, like just because you do it doesn't, like nobody cares. Like it's not relevant. It's like whenever one of these really well-respected and really respectable directors talks about how bad Marvel is. Shut up, old man. Shut up. I like watching the Thor movie. It was cool.
Now, I personally think that what he's saying makes sense. Now, and I say this with a caveat, right? What he's basically saying is, regardless of how you feel about AI, regardless of how you feel about maybe jobs being taken or creativity being lost by AI creating things, that it doesn't matter when it comes from a capitalistic perspective. If you're creating a game, all that matters is whether or not the game is fun and good, if the art was enjoyable, if you liked it, if you're willing to spend money on it. I think from a purely capitalistic point of view, he's completely right. And I do think that you got to put your thinking hat on, because you got to wonder how far you want to go if you want to get upset. Will you get upset when older people say that your music is too loud or too noisy because they like different type of music from you, right? If you think that it's wrong when old people tell you that, then I think that you shouldn't be mad about AI creating art in video games, if this art in Power World was even created by an AI, because this is just accusations, allegations, unconfirmed claims that the game was made with AI. So I don't think that you could just easily just say like, oh, this is a bad thing. But I do think that his oversimplification kind of shows that he's a little out of touch in the way that he chooses to explain things. He didn't handle with care, while AI is actually a threat to creativity, human creativity. And I think the issue with a lot of this AI stuff is not necessarily whether or not it's good, because I think it's an eventuality. One day it will be good enough. One day it will be more creative. One day it will be more useful than any human you could have sit in the chair. One day, it's not today, it's not tomorrow, but it's one day. And people just saying, yeah, I like it, so good, keep going. I mean, they kind of got to fall into certain camps, right? Either they're just, selfish. They're like, it doesn't matter as long as it pleases me. It doesn't matter what the external effects of what happens when AI becomes powerful. Because, ultimately what you're saying is, yes, go billionaires, make as much money as you want. Let us have an asymmetric future where the few people who have power over AI have power over us. If that's only if the AI doesn't get power over them, which, we've only have like 1,000 science fiction books about. And it's also just like a lack of foresight. It's just like, you can't give into your instant gratification just because something is good now, right? And throw out the baby with the bathwater, because I do think sometimes people adopt new technology and it's crap. Like, it's not actually as good as it's all trumped up to be, but because it's new and flashy, people just want to accept it as good. Like, for instance, I look at Power World, I don't think it's all that great. I think that the art is kind of simplistic. It's just like if you use a what do they call that? The Oculus. Right. When I use an Oculus and I put it on my eyes and I see, first of all, it's amazing. You get to see this amazing 3D world. Right. But the issue is that it's nauseating, and sometimes it's just not a great visual experience. Sometimes I'm amazed at some of the 3D things going on, but it's not fun to play any of the games. Hey, maybe you think the games are fun, but I think that we're being sold the idea that the games are fun. Maybe Beat Saber is fun. I'll give you Beat Saber, but there's almost no other game that I really want to play on it. So I would say, we should use some caution with the new technology. As far as him saying that artists' opinions don't matter, he's right. I guess their opinions really don't matter, but maybe his opinion doesn't matter either on whether or not artists' opinions matter. He should probably think about that as well. Oh, it doesn't matter as long as the game is fun. Why do you have a job, Asmongold? You have a job because you have opinions on games, and maybe it's an informed opinion. Right. And these artists have informed opinions. So are you saying that their informed opinion doesn't matter in that context, but your informed opinion matters in this one? Anyway, I think that he probably did step out of line a little bit when he came up with this. I don't think I'm the only person. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not the only person who feels this way. If you look at his Twitter, it's pretty clear that, there's people who don't agree with him. Here's his reaction to it. Am I wrong about this? Looking at so many people angry with what I said is kind of shocking to me. When you go to the market with a product, the only thing that matters is the consumer's perception of the product's value. When did this become wrong? Right? Once again, he's talking about the market and a product, and he's speaking from a purely capitalistic perspective. But once again, and this is the issue with kind of some of the ways that we approach things as Americans. It's not all about profit. Sometimes it's about the quality of a product. And maybe the human part of it matters too somehow. Maybe knowing that a human made it makes the product better than knowing that an AI made it. Maybe chat GPTing your way through the problems of life makes life somehow cheaper. But anyway, I mean, if you look at this guy, I don't really think that he makes the best argument. I read his reaction here. He said, dude, all the games you love to play, like World of Warcraft, were handcrafted by insanely talented people that often go about unnoticed by the wider world. You spat on their talent, hard work, and assume their relevance. True, actually. Never mind. Looking at it again, I think he has a little bit more standing. Even though it's artists who craft these worlds, you and your viewers get lost in worlds that AI could not conjure up by itself. I mean, he's saying right now, AI couldn't conjure it up, but it doesn't mean that they won't be able to. And I assume in the future they will. The funny thing is, what you said is somewhat ironic. The people buying the product often judge it based on how good it looks. Our opinions aren't irrelevant. Our opinion, experiences, and lives often influence the worlds you enjoy. 100%. And I think that's part of it. I think that just putting everything through an AI somehow does cheapen art, and that we're not there yet where AI is just adding insane quality to art. And it can make art look great based on the inputs made by real people. But I think that there is a lack of true creativity when it comes to art. And once again, this guy's saying, if you're strictly viewing this from a capitalistic viewpoint, you're not wrong. But I think many, including myself, would argue that we have a moral obligation to look after the ones making said products. If we never care about the artist, the art stops. Nobody wins. And guess what? I'm guessing the AI would stop. Because once again, most of the AIs that we think are so capable are using inputs that real humans are making, at least right now. Maybe in the future, things will change. But right now, I think that AI needs human beings more than, human. No, let me stop there. AIs need human beings. When it comes to what's most profitable, you're right, but people are human beings and not corpos, bro. I guess this person played a lot of cyberpunk. It's normal for a person to think artists do matter because they do. And I think that, that's just normal. Yeah, I totally get it. Look, I don't really care what his response to it is. Ultimately, I think that just saying that artists don't matter is just a bad look. And it kind of did come off a little slimy, if I'm being 100% honest. It comes off a little slimy because it doesn't affect him, so he doesn't care, right? If something doesn't affect you and you don't care, it just shows like a certain lack of empathy. I don't think that it maps very well on to say, I like the Thor movie, so someone who didn't like the Thor movie who makes movies is irrelevant. I don't think so. I think that person has a right to an opinion, even if you don't agree with it. Right. And to say that their opinion doesn't matter while you have an opinion, it's just saying it's kind of like high horsing, like, because I like this, you're irrelevant. Just say, I like it. I think it's okay for AI. Some people don't. But don't say that artists' opinions don't matter unless you're looking at like, just like bottom line, income, which is, once again, slimy. Anyway. I'm sure he's not complaining. He has more than enough money to sitting down at home, playing video games for a living, not creating anything in terms of art itself. He's creating great content, but, ultimately, I think to, put artists under the bus, not a good look. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think that artists matter? I do. Let me know in the comments below. If you want to check out my Discord or anything else to do with Savage Instincts, you can check out my link tree below. Otherwise, Savage Instinct out.